Hello and welcome to the B Button episode 34. I'm your host Baron Marf and I'm joined as always by my compadre in arms, the legend, the man himself, the man of the hour if you will, Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Contemplating.
Cogitating.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just looking over obviously last week's gaming.
Yeah, and? How was your gaming week?
Pretty much the same as the week before. GTA.
Oh really?
Got to cash, stack up those Benjamins, get those businesses upgraded and...
Humming, supplied,
yeah. Well, there's
making cash.
Yeah, we've got the Rockstar 3rd year anniversary. I didn't realise it was 3 years that online's been going. I thought it was 2.
Really?
Yeah, so they've got some stuff on sale and I managed to get my 2 million together for my Valkyrie. So that's my Air Force pretty much finished, unless they bring out some more jets.
So have you had any sort of like A-Team or MASH-esque moments with it yet?
No, not as much, not as such.
Because it is the typical like American Air Force helo from Vietnam, machine guns
it's a
hanging off
proper,
the side.
yeah, a proper Huey.
Yeah.
Like you say, you've got the twin miniguns, and then you've got the exploding, like I think 120mm rounds from the front. So it's a mobile warship.
Beast, cool.
Need to get in amongst it, and just some more Destiny. Obviously, you've got the Festival of the Lost, so the new shader. Other than that, pretty much it.
A new shader.
Yeah.
The thing is,
masks.
when you play it, you're like, oh, okay, there's a new shader, I'll go and get it, yeah? When you stand back and look at yourself for 2 minutes, like in the light of day, and you go, a new shader, do I really care? Really? Right. Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Damn it.
It's really easy to get, and it's a bit of trolling at the end of it as well, which I thought was quite amusing. But no, engrams have got some value, blue engrams that is. Obviously my characters, I've just got one chipped up to 365, so yay.
Cool.
That's done. And some crappy forgettable mobile games that I've forgotten about.
So nothing you cared about then?
Nothing of any real value or note. How about yourself?
Well, talk about mobile games. You said Shadow Wars. Get on Shadow Wars. So I got on Shadow Wars.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good, man. I mean, it's always just like, hey, want to spend some money, but that's the nature of these things. We have to accept it.
It's a proper milker, but it's not as bad as some of their other games.
Well, you can play through it. That's the thing, is you can continue to... I've not hit the pay wall barrier yet. No. And it's one of those typical, connect the gems. Well, actually, it's actually just destroy the gems.
Yeah, find clusters of the same colour. Yeah. And it's really good. I like the card battle system with it.
Yeah.
It's got your basic sort of, what do you call it? Rock, paper, scissor element.
With the different elements, yeah. So it's like, fire gets beaten by water, but plants beat, or nature beats water, fire, nature. Yeah,
that's it. No, it is solid though. I was lucky enough, I went back on the other day, I hadn't played it for a few days, and there was loads of just free stuff. It's just like, oh, there's the support stuff, we were down for a bit, and I was like, really? I didn't even notice. Nice one, thanks for that, that's some new cards.
I wasn't playing your game, yeah. But no, it's all joking aside, it's well worth it. So it's Pickpock, isn't it?
Pickpock, yeah. Shadow Wars, so it's available on Google Play Store and iOS Store.
Free download.
Yeah. I'd imagine it may be on the Windows, but I haven't got a Windows phone and I'm too lazy to care or check. Well,
saying that after the keynote with the 3D capturing and all that sort of stuff, well, people may change their mind, but we digress.
We digress indeed. Massively. That's a story for another day.
Yeah. So I've also been rinsing a bit of GTA 5, as you know, just occasionally in and out, lethargic gaming. Tried the COD beta.
How was it? Same old COD?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. It was like... It's COD. It's Twitch fire sort of reactive gameplay. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, somewhat a dulling of the reactions over the years.
I tell you what has been blown up though for me is Gears on Horde mode.
Yeah. Well, you said last week you needed to get back into it.
And that I did, and that's it.
Found your Horde crew?
No, just chipping in occasionally and just trying
with randoms.
Yeah, okay.
Random hoarding.
Random hoarding indeed. Yes, that's exactly what it's been.
Oh,
but yeah, all in all, pretty cool stuff. So this week, week coming, I think we all know what I'm going to be trying, which is going to come up later on in the podcast.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so let's move on over to our Bullet Bills Big 3. Bullet Bills Big 3. Oh yeah, we've hit the news. And heading up top of the bill this week, our first bullet hole is what, Link?
Street Fighter. It's tanked.
Massively.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really tanked.
Well, it started quite well. Obviously, they've got to 1.4 million, was it by May? And
so, I mean, they had a target, didn't they?
They did.
2 million
2 million by the end of March.
Right.
So they didn't hit that target, but, you know, it's one of those things.
1.4 is not too bad if your target's 2. I mean, it's not where you want it to be, but it's not.
But it's promising.
Yeah.
So you think over the summer, hopefully that still picks up, obviously with the release of DLC. But in the time... Well,
so
since
March will be like part of their fiscal year, when it'll be like at the beginning or halfway through. So the next...
Yeah, that's it. The next 6 months sort of a bit more telling.
Yeah.
Well, they shipped fewer than 100,000 units between May and September. So basically,
so they sold less than all.
Well, no, they've shipped. So
dear.
Retailers have bought.
Oh dear.
So it's not really a true.
So you've not actually sold that many copies. You've just put that many copies on the shelves.
Yeah. So Game and GameStop, they've all bought their units.
And also, you don't know with the industry there used to be the case with CDs that companies bought them and they had them on their shelves, and what they didn't sell, they sent back.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's the case with games these days, but yeah. Anyway, so
they had we said earlier.
Does it surprise you?
No, not really. Well, when you think there was launch issues, the online was a pig. The PC's been a mess at times.
Certainly has.
There was missing features. So obviously in story modes only came out
There wasn't a
recently.
story mode. It was ridiculous. It took them 4 months to get
something
story
like that.
mode out.
I think
something like that.
we did talk about it on a previous podcast, but
but it's been abysmal.
Yeah, and then the questionable DLC as well.
I mean, for me, so a lot of people said, "Oh, DLC is not too bad." I'm like, it's like 5 characters or 6 characters, which I expect to be in the game. Guile, I expect Guile to be in the game. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It should just be in there. You know, that's not DLC. That's you carving up what is already a game and selling it to me in bits. It's dirty play.
But Capcom have been known to do it before. Obviously, there was a Asura's Wrath.
Yes, Asura's Wrath was carved.
That was a travesty. As far
Which
as I'm
ending do you
concerned.
want? Do you want to buy a new one?
Well, do you want to buy the proper one? Oh, what, you didn't realise it was the proper one? Well, aren't you the sucker? Yes, I am, because I'm buying it, sucker. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not surprised, really. It's... When you look at some of the other games that have come out, obviously Mortal Kombat did really well. You've had Injustice, that was a pretty solid fighter.
Well, the thing is
Killer
like
Instinct's been really good.
The community's reached out, haven't they? They've kind of gone, look, here's some ideas on what you can do to revamp, and it's basically consisted of sell it to us again, but with a new front cover on.
Don't try and nickel and dime it. I don't mind paying for it. Just have a complete package.
Yeah, try and make a game.
We've got a pretty good point about this in the beef later. Of how to do it properly. Yeah, exactly that. So I don't know. I just for me, there's one way that they could have really made this game successful as the last game. For me, do you know what that is? Release it on the Xbox One.
Yeah, release it on all the consoles.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. To not do that when Xbox sales, yes, they're lagging behind.
But they are an integral part of the business.
Yeah, and they've still got a fair sale amount with it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They've got to be improved, but we should move on. I think we're going to just waffle on about
Yes. Well, moving on to our second bullet hole for this week, Nintendo. So they've been a little bit vocal after the announcement of the Switch, and they've done an interview with Bloomberg. Or specifically, Nintendo's president did an interview with Bloomberg. Now, give me a chance on this one, ready? Tatsumi Kimishima. Go on, Link. You have a go.
Yeah, I was going to say Katsumi, yeah. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it was damn it. Apologies to Nintendo's president, but that's your name.
As good as I can get.
That's about as good as it's going to get, yeah. And anyway, long story short, they've said, hey, don't worry, 3DS is staying, that's still going on. And as always, it's one of these sort of business interviews, so it's more about how's your value stream going, opposed to actually what do people want to play,
It's somewhat dry.
Yeah, but they said thanks to our software, the 3DS hardware is still growing and ongoing, and basically said that the business still has momentum. So rather than cannibalising the customer base, we think it's going to grow independently. So they basically said completely separate devices.
Yeah,
it was really interesting watching them try and justify how one was a mobile device and the other one was a mobile device. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of questions. There's been will the Switch play 3DS cartridges was the biggie, wasn't it?
Yeah, obviously because we know it's going to be cartridge based, so you'd think that potentially.
Yeah. Are they going to do that sort of clever slot thing where you can put them both in, but one sticks out slightly more than the other, or I don't know.
No, they come out and obviously that's not working, is it?
Proprietary cartridges or something like that.
But then you've got the storefront for later on.
Yep.
So you can always then start nickel and dime, and Nintendo are quite happy to do that. I mean, I shudder to think how many times I've probably bought Super Mario Kart.
Yeah. yeah, we've bought it a lot.
It's one of those. I'm kind of glad that the 3DS is its own unit because it offers different kinds of gameplay.
Yeah, and also you start limiting things. You think, what they're going to do graphically and all that. But I mean, there's a question of is the Switch going to have the touchscreen?
Well, there was obviously the notorious Nintendo silence on that subject when they were quizzed. But obviously, Eurogamer, they've sort of reached out to the people that obviously provided them with their report back in July, and they've kind of assured them that it's a 6.2 720p screen with a 10-point capacitive touch.
Cool.
So pretty much standard sort of tablet affair, really, in terms of screen, because they're obviously the 3DS. Don't forget, it's the stylus based.
Yeah.
I can't remember what kind of screen that is, but there's the other kind, but it's not capacitive.
Well, I'm always sort of concerned when companies which don't pride themselves in making some really high-end phones or something like that talk about touchscreen, because it was initially it was like Apple had the touchscreen down pat, and then all the other ones were a bit spongy and not very precise or weren't very reactive, and now sort of that technology's caught up and in some instances taken over and it's a bit sharper. But I don't see companies like Nintendo being the kind of company who go, yeah, we're going to put that in our device.
But then again, though, if Amazon can knock out a half-decent 7-inch tablet for £50...
Yeah.
I mean, you look at something like the Tesco Huddle. That was a really great little tablet.
Other tablets are available from other shops.
But yeah, there's loads and loads of great little budget tablets for like under £100 that offer pretty decent screens. And let us not forget, though, majority of it is obviously the intention is you've got it in the dock most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like you will never have an opportunity to miss out on your gaming if you'd want. Like, I've got to go and mark work. Haha, fuck you, I'm going to stay at work playing Zelda.
I just love the idea of just basically having to travel through your life whilst gaming.
I think there was that King of the Hill one, where you just see and the whole day passes by and weeks, and they're just this guy's just stood there at the front. But that's going to be that, but with Nintendo. Yeah. With the Switch. Again, there's
massive digression off of our point.
But they've also announced that they're going for the full reveal, January the 12th as well. So that's all with the software lineup, final design, because obviously the Wii U did alter somewhat, little bits and bobs.
But stuff like this makes me think: does that the terminology they use, where they're talking about like Switch is doing its thing, 3DS is doing its own thing, it makes me think. So, and they're talking about still growing and developing the hardware. And it's like, what else are you going to do with the 3DS then?
More powerful one.
Yeah.
The one that's about half power in 2 years' time.
I bet they do one which is compatible, or will they, with the cards from the Switch? Who knows? God, my mind's running wild with Nintendo.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah. We don't know. This is Nintendo. This is the same company that built a cushion or patented a cushion that you could it would like use it to ride a horse or something like that. It's brilliant. Some of the patterns that they've got are hilarious.
Mad and cockeyed. Anyway, right, let's bust on to our third bullet hole for this week. What we got, Link?
Some opportunities for some free gaming.
Ooh.
And the Steep beta, the open beta has been announced, the dates. That is the 18th to the 21st of November.
Cool.
So that's a few weeks away.
Yeah, but still an opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, can you get onto it, or is this the open beta, is it?
Yeah, this is the open beta's dates. There is the closed beta that's running from the 10th to the 14th. I haven't checked my emails yet to see what I received one. Because I missed out. I completely didn't get the email. Well, I did get the email. I didn't get the notification, but I'd got the email for the alpha.
Browser wars.
Yeah, so that's you can still sign up, obviously, I think. So
cool.
Just head over to the Steep website.
So, I mean, you're a little bit psyched about
I'm
Steep.
really looking forward to this. I was reading a couple of previews. One guy sort of kind of likened it to Burnout.
Cool.
In the sense that you've got like one chance and you've just got to go for it and hope it works out, kind of.
If you wipe out, you wipe out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's game over. But I don't know. I think that it's going to be like my new Flower. Obviously, like the Flow was my chill out game.
Yeah.
On the PS3, it was just an amazing game to just randomly float around, and
I mean,
it was a really pretty game as well.
The premise of Steep is just space. For those who don't know, it's a mountain that you can pretty much do what you like on.
Yeah, you've got three ways to get about. Obviously, you've got your parachute, a wingsuit, and a snowboard or skis. And yeah, there's races and stunt challenges and stuff like that.
What about hovering around in a helicopter?
Well, you can then, I'd imagine, get dropped off, but you can pretty much go anywhere you want at the mountain. You just load it and just bang on and go there and start that.
Nice.
And go for it. So it looks interesting. I really want to play it, obviously. But you've also got that other one coming out at the end of this month as well, or it should be out. The Infinite Air.
I forget the general's name, Mark or something.
Mark something or other.
Yeah.
But Infinite Air.
Yeah.
It's on the store. I did see it.
I noticed
looking
that.
through the other day.
I looked at it and went, cool. I'm going to wait for Steep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did when I saw it.
Wait for Steep and see what the two compare them, and then move on and make your decision from that.
Yeah.
But try the beta. It's out on 18th of November. That should be in the store. But
cool.
Yeah, if you want to try and get on the closed beta, get the sign up at Ubisoft website and search. Search for Steep on their website.
Yeah.
Search for Steep on Google or
Steep,
Bing or whatever search engine you use.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. Well, there we go, folks. So we're going to wrap this up and shift on over to our What's the Beef, Chief.
Yes.
Let's go. It's What is the Beef / Peace, Chief? Baby. I don't know. We've got a bit of a mix up this week again, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're both beefing and piecing.
Yeah, well, there's some good and bad.
Mm.
I mean, I think it's on me just really sort of got my goat.
Start off with our meatball, yeah. Let's do this.
Game, obviously the retailer,
yeah,
are charging people £5 for 10 minutes to try the PSVR in store.
Hold it, wait. So you get 10 minutes just to try it.
Yeah.
But they want to charge you for it.
£5.
What's got your goat on this?
Well, I mean, my issue really is not the fact that they want to sort of provide some kind of deposit or payment to try it, because obviously it's an expensive thing, blah blah blah. But it's the precedent that it will set, or could potentially set. I mean, I think they've gone about it in a completely shitty wrong way. I mean, I appreciate.
So it's not a deposit; it's a payment.
It's a payment. So here's £5.
I won't see that money again. Goodbye.
Unless you then buy either a PlayStation 4 or a VR headset there and then.
That's a bit crap. They're just trying to sell it to you, aren't they?
Yeah, well, this is the
thing.
And
they want to charge you to sell it to you.
I mean, I know obviously I've just thought there's better ways to go about it.
So I guess there's some reasons why you could argue why they may do it. I mean, you could say, obviously, it's a brick and mortar, so there's overheads, light heating, all that jazz, and You've got like staff. I guess somebody's got to sort of oversee that. Some member of staff, maybe.
I completely understand the asshole equation, because you'll get the dickheads that will go in there that will try to break it or nick it, or they're just some dribbly, snotty.
Well, that was the other thing. Is like, do they clean it? I mean, we're talking about something which sits on your face or head.
I mean, there is a response from Game.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, this is the quote from that they sent back to Eurogamer. Our pay-to-play PlayStation VR experience is a game-led initiative. The cost to use the in-store PS4 pod is entirely refundable for customers that go on to buy either the headset or console.
Oh, that's good.
The payment allows us to ensure that we have dedicated staff manning the PlayStation pod who are fully trained to adhere to the best practice demo guidelines. The demos are intended to give our customers access to one of the most exciting gaming technologies of 2016 and provide them with the opportunity to get a feel for VR before they commit to buy.
Okay. Let's just say for the sake of it that they're paying their staff £15 an hour.
Yeah, for the sake of it, yeah.
Alright, no, let's go. £10 is a bit too little.
No, we're talking retail, so you're barely lucky to get above minimum.
Right, okay, so let's say we're being generous and we're giving them £10 an hour,
yeah.
Right? So they've got to do 20 minutes and then Game are pocketing the other 40 minutes worth.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea of how reasonable they're being, just food for thought.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've got an instant solution. Yeah, what's the one thing that gamers want to feel? Special. That they're great. They've got with all the game reward cards. You've got your email, right? Okay. Do you want to be one of the first to try out PSVR before it's released? £10, £15 for an exclusive in-store party where you can try it out and you can have 10 pods, 15 pods set up, and then that way you've got people that you know and you can trace, and then they're bam, we've got you, we know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
That way you're creating buzz, you're actually getting people, you're getting a head start. If you had a chance, if Game sent you an email, £10, would you like to try VR before, like a week, 2 weeks before it's released?
Before it's released, I probably would, yeah.
Yeah. And
Damn
then,
it.
Exactly. There's better ways they could have gone about it. There's
Damn it.
so many better ways.
Oh man, I didn't like that part of me then, which just answered that. So come on, we've got to go one way or the other with this. I mean, me personally, I still think it stinks.
Yeah,
and
it's a shitty practice, and there is one part of me that's thinking, if it was anyone else but Game, would I be as shitty about it? Because knowing how much they make off of their second-hand stuff and how much they nickel and dime everyone.
Yeah, but they almost went to the wall, didn't they?
Yeah, because they nickel and dimed everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone just turned around and went, well, fuck you. Basically.
Yeah, I must admit, there is connotations of overly money-grabby game. Yeah. Anyway, okay, let's move on. So
something good.
Yeah, something a bit more positive.
We always like to talk about when people and development houses and studios and publishers do really good things provided with DLC.
So the piece is...
Titanfall 2 has no season pass.
Why is that a good thing?
Here's the other part of it. It's an EA published game with no season pass.
I mean, okay, so I know that EA rake it in, don't they?
No season pass from EA.
So have they just not got anything to do, or
no,
what's the reasoning behind it?
Not the case at all. Titanfall 2, obviously dev, Respawn Entertainment tweeted earlier in the week asking us, remember when buying a game got you everything? And they've just then done that. Fair play to them. I hope it sells well. Not for EA's sake, but for Respawn.
I hope doesn't. So this makes me ask: is this going to limit what they can do? Are they not going to have the funding now?
I don't think so. Obviously, they're going to be releasing all of the maps and the new game modes for free. And so obviously...
they've got the stuff planned then? That's the important thing.
Well, the thing is, it's a multiplayer game for front and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the thing that they want to keep.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was quoted in a blog from their website. It means no splitting up of the community. and it all starts with the Angel City map that's been remastered. So that's the first one they're going to be releasing. But it's a good idea, because how, like, look at the Taken King, when that split people up, like, how many people begrudgingly bought that? Because they're like, no, I got bent over for that year-long beta.
Yeah, there's a lot of feathers
more.
being spat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then with the Rise of Iron, loads of people that don't want to buy it, because you're going to be broken off from everyone. It's always happened on COD. When I used to play it, because I never used to buy the season passes, because I was always giving the 2 fingers to Activision.
Cash division.
Yeah. So, fair play to EA. Like,
yeah,
I really have to applaud them on this. Like, I know there would have been some, like, gripping of chairs, like, you what? You want to do what? No.
But this is the thing which makes me think, support this sort of activity.
Yeah, I totally am.
Buy these games.
Yeah, I think
it's not going to make you buy it though, is it?
Do you know, I'm more interested in buying this than I would be COD. I like the idea that there is a single player element. It's from obviously the same people that made COD, the first few, and all the good ones. So I'm promised. I've got a bit of promise for it.
You gonna look at it?
I'd be seriously tempted to borrow it off of you when you finish on board with it.
I know. So do you think this is going to go the way of like Payday did, where they go, we are absolutely not doing a season pass, and then that person gets canned, and then they go, we're doing a season pass?
No. Because what they've said is it's got no season pass, but they've not said they'll release paid DLC. So these things like these, you've got to look for what's
the
not
nuances,
said.
yeah.
Because
the economic truth.
Single player DLC. What again? We've not seen anything of the game. Obviously, we're going to talk about it a bit more.
So we're not going to give you a season pass. We're just going to charge you full price for everything.
Yeah, we're just going to charge you for the story.
I applaud you, EA.
Well, the things that cost the money to make, really, because the time in building a multiplayer map, no problem. But building a story where everything's got to blow up in the right place and things have got to fly across the screen at the right time, that takes hassle. So yeah, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised to see some paid DLC come out. It won't be multiplayer based.
But right here, right now, your final thoughts about Respawn is?
Fair play to them, good on them.
Yeah.
I said with CG Projekt Red as well, when they did the same thing.
Can you imagine how difficult that negotiation was over the table with EA? Guys, we've got an idea.
I don't know, because of South Park and their portrayal of Peter Moore, I just somewhat think it would have been a seedy affair. It's almost like, well then Vince, you've got to give me a little something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. It's a bit of a skin crawler.
Damn you, EA.
But
cool. Okay, well look, there we are. That's the beef and the peace for this week. Let's move on over to our Uncharted territory.
Indeed.
Uncharted territory. Oh yes, it's our free roaming section. It's no man's land. It's go wherever you like. Geocaching of random gaming thoughts. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We do like to ramble, but most of the sections are like that. It's just this one's a bit more
allowable. Acknowledged as rambling. Yeah. And rambling on this week is Titanfall 2. I mean, where did this come from? Because I had no idea.
Well, we've talked about it, and we've actually mentioned it that when we were talking about Battlefield when that was being released. We did say it was going to be a somewhat chaotic affair.
And whammy, there I was stood in Game Today and looking at some games on the shelf, and lo and behold, Titanfall 2.
What the fuck?
Didn't know that was out.
Is it the sort of meerkat look around? What?
Instead of saying pre-order, it had a price on it. And I was like, right, okay. So I looked at the price, $49.99.
And went elsewhere.
And then went somewhere else and saved myself a load of money. So, sorry game, that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we thought we'd give it a shot, didn't we? We gave it a little, I gave it a little blast.
Yeah.
Quick half an hour, just sort of get a flavour of what it was like. Had a look at the campaign, the single player.
Yes, well this is the thing that I was most interested about it. I mean, if Titanfall had gone the same way as it did with the first one, I would have just been...
I would have been a lot less interested in that.
Instantly not interested. But no, I was I was looking forward to seeing what it had in store.
Yeah, so a little bit of spoilers here. So if you don't want to know, do not listen for probably about 5 minutes. But the intro was... I don't know how I felt about it. In some parts of it, it was amazing. So there's some sort of FMV of a character, a pilot, an operator, just generally sliding around and running walls and doing all sorts of very cool shit. Very well choreographed fight scenes.
What I like to term as being an ultimate badass.
Yeah, it really... Well, that's actually the note I've got in front of me. He was badass, yeah. But I was actually quite impressed by some of the ideas they came up with, just like... I know it's FMV, it's not what the actual gameplay is like. Or it's maybe not what the gameplay is like, but there's lots of just like jumping in and out of a building and then jumping into the robot and then, very, very cool stuff.
But to be fair, it does somewhat run like that anyway, though.
It
is a very mobile game.
I used to akin the first one to just drinking a can of Red Bull. You can have one, but if somebody then goes have another one and another one, unless it's got alcohol in it, you're probably not going to just cane through loads of it because it's like too much caffeine.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Somewhat of a sensory overload.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how I used to find it. But so we played the single player only, of course, and graphically, where were you with it?
Well, I was just going to ask, how did you find it running? Because it's easy to watch it.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't look like it dropped at all.
No, frame rate felt pretty solid. We don't know what it was running at exactly, but it was smooth.
Yeah, it's not as if we've got any technical equipment to like Digital Foundry do, where they can get it to the points and individual frames.
Only the finest information here at the B button.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No expense spares.
Literally all spent.
No, it seems solid though.
Yeah. It ran pretty damn smooth. I wasn't impressed with the graphics.
No, I can't say it was, but it was very spectacular. But again, there was a fair bit going on though. In terms of what was in the actual screen, there was a lot going on. It was, like I said, a lot of foliage and... the backgrounds and the skies and all that looked right. They're no Forza Horizon 3 skies, don't get me wrong, but it all looked good.
Yeah,
It looked great.
I think there's two types of games. You get the ones which are very, very pretty and you're almost playing around the aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then you get the other ones which are very functional and painted.
Yeah.
And this feels like the latter to me. It's very, very kind of... you can tell it's designed to be able to run big robots and lots of little characters running at full speed with no frame dropping.
You can see, the lighting and stuff's not brilliant.
No.
It's not as good as some
trees are like flat pixels. You look at a leaf on one side, you go 90 degrees and it's like a slice of paper. That looks shoddy,
But again, when some guy in a robot's chasing you down, you're not really going to give too many hits.
No, you're not. No.
So you can see where the concessions are made, but again, as long as it runs buttery smooth, then that's all you want.
Yeah.
It was some good little bit classic cliche action though.
Storyline was proper cliche right at the beginning.
You can see where COD got its chops.
Yeah. It's I guess it's what you need just to move you through the game, really.
Yeah. You've got your typical stereotypical bad guys with their weird, funny accents.
Yeah, we couldn't decide were they Australian or were they like
South African.
South African, yeah.
It was like again, anyone unfortunately from South Africa again badly termed. Yeah. Unfortunately for anyone from South Africa having to hear that and
apologies.
bad.
And Australia.
Yeah, accent.
Do you want any other accents? Do you want me to have a quick go on just to insult that nation as well?
I'm thinking no.
Maybe the French.
Yeah. Well, there's many ways to insult the French.
Well. Good.
Yeah,
Link.
So we're
rambling. But controls handling for me. The game was. I was surprised at some of the things I could pull off. I'm quite a clunky player. I'm not somebody who's like buttery smooth moving through levels. Yeah, agile and nimble are not words attached to my movement through levels. And I had some moments where I was running along walls, shooting people or targets and killing them. And it's I can see how it's quite possible for anybody who's a reasonable gamer to actually be a real badass on that game.
Yeah. So it did. It felt the controls felt nicely weighted.
I wouldn't say weighted. It is still quite a light feeling game, but I guess that's the nature of the beast when you're going to be running along walls.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is I would expect better bullet impact. Guns didn't, if we move on to weapons here a little bit as well, they weren't really solid. In fact, there was only really one weapon which made me go, cool. The rest of them were all a bit like, this is a bit light, a little bit tinny. I mean, there's some good ideas, some interesting ideas, like some, proper hardcore handguns and, and all this sort of stuff. But there was just the one, the DMR, which was a sniper rifle.
Oh, that noise was unreal, wasn't it?
That
really was good.
Probably the best sounding sniper rifle I've ever heard. It had that sort of like, not only the initial like, but then it had like the drag afterwards. It was really, really good.
But staying with weapons, so did you feel there was a good variety?
I thought there was. I thought a few of them felt really samey actually. There's about 3 of them which felt like assault rifle / SMG / PDR / whatever acronym they put.
So they didn't really have many differentiating.
No, I mean, there is a handgun there, there's a machine gun there, or an SMG, there is an assault rifle, there is a sniper rifle, there is a rocket launcher, there is grenades, so there's all the staple diet of your first-person shooter, but there wasn't a variety of them. You play something like COD, you've got like 3 or 4 different sniper rifles, and you tweak and you get it just right.
Each of them feel different.
Yeah, this is different. Just pick up a weapon and use it, almost Halo-esque in the weapon set. So, but I don't know. They probably could have done a bit more. At least give me a bit more variety. I would like to have seen some interesting scopes or something like night vision or like.
But again, the first half hour.
Well, and also I guess the other thing to say about it is that probably is a night vision scope going to be any good on Titanfall when you're having to run for your life with large robots chasing you? Probably not. Yeah, so I get that, but they're okay.
Yeah.
They're
functional, they do their job.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something amazing is going to come out of the bag later, which we haven't seen yet.
How do you feel in the levels, getting about with the level the
mobility?
Yeah.
So I think it was quite interesting. There's a little speed run bit that you saw me sort of replay about 2 or 3 times.
Well, it's the tutorial, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Your pilot's test.
Yeah, and so I was just trying to sort of cane through that and try and get to about 1 minute or something like that. I was roughly aiming for, and you have to take out your targets as you run through, and when you drop them, you don't get any penalties at the end. Slow down your time. And what I liked about it is it gave you lots of opportunities as to how you go around the level. So you could say, I wouldn't say speed run, but you could take more direct routes where your jumping's got to be that slightly more spot on,
Yeah.
And so from that point of view, I thought that was pretty good. There seems to be quite a lot of variety in mobility, and there was a few times when I was running along walls and shooting targets and actually hitting them, which is a rarity for me, and because movement and shooting has never been a particularly strong point of mine.
No.
So I mean, to make me feel like a bit of a badass in that short period of time, and being able to go, can I make that wall? And you can tell that there is a transition point in between, but if you get the jump just right, if you get the momentum, and there's a couple of times where you saw me doing like wall runs and sort of barreling off the wall, and if you get it right, you travel really far and you've got another jump. If you get it wrong, you just of
drop,
bounce off into oblivion.
No,
so it was definitely engaging, put it that way.
And is it one that the levels seem to encourage you to go out and try, instead of just running across the ground, but to wall run and to sort of jump in and stamp someone on the head as you sort of fall in and
there's
slide down the hill, and it did seem like a good sort of chaotic mad.
They allowed you to do flanking and such, like if you're willing to have the kahunas and sort of
if you can see the path.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, so
cool.
I mean, and I tried a few sort of drop-ins and melees, failed miserably, but
Destiny controls.
Yeah.
Too many first-person shooter control schemes.
So, from your perspective, you sat back and you watched this, and you didn't get the opportunity to play it, but sort of just from an outsider's point of view, where were you with this?
Well, my first impressions of it, which I've had sort of since I saw Titanfall initially, was it reminded me massively of Brink. I mean, it was a game that I thought had some really interesting ideas, but because it was multiplayer only, really, I mean, all of the levels, it was all the same. Single player or multiplayer was exactly the same. It was just the multiplayer levels.
Well, Brink was a first-person, free-running parkour-esque shooter, wasn't it?
There was elements of it to it, yeah. You had different character sizes, so you had big tank characters that could take more damage, but obviously weren't as lithe and nimble. Then you had like your standard soldier, which was sort of in between the two, and then you had your little ninja guy who could just scoot around like a monkey.
Yeah.
And it had in that sort of vibe to it for me. And I mean, the thing that let me down with Brink was just how dull it was, because it was multiplayer only. So it was either that it was really lame computer or ridiculous players, and there was never that good curve, and there was never a good single player to it. So I'm glad that Titanfall, obviously what turned me off from it the first time round was it's just a multiplayer only affair. So really good that they got the single player in there. Excited to play through that.
What do you think about things like graphically?
Again, it didn't wow me, but it was functional. Everything looked solid.
What about weapons? Did they do anything for you?
I don't know. Again, it's one of those things that until you get a feel of it yourself, really, it's difficult to say.
But even when I watch COD, I can tell that the impact and that sort of sound that when you get it, you can tell it's quite addicting, if there is such a word. It's that I want to do that again. I didn't get that with Titanfall.
Well, it's
Titanfall 2.
I think it's the way that you get with the hit markers as well. There's little design things that that are different, and I don't know. What
about like the dynamic of using the Titan? So you have a different weapon set. You've got shields to absorb bullets and fire them back. You've got rockets. You've got the boost slide opposed to a jump.
I'd be interested to see how they can work like the whole sort of the pilot linked to its Titan dynamic. So you can move in and out of the levels, in and out of the Titan at the same time.
I don't think they get the thing that they get in the FMV where he kind of like runs into a building and the Titan reaches into the building, pulls him out, puts him. I don't think they quite get to that extent. But you can sort of interact with the Titan from the point of view of you jump out, tell it to go command and attack stuff or defend you, and you can do that sort of stuff.
But again, with the story player, it's obviously a bit more scripted, isn't it? So I like the idea of you potentially getting like these FMD moments where it's just like he will, and you've got to get to the place and he'll grab you and all of this stuff. And
they've got this great bit on the artwork at the front of the cover of the game where it's basically just him running along a wall and the Titan sort of holding the hand out to sort of block the bullets, which I think is a really nice touch. As I reach for a copy of the cover right now, but so
that's a cool thing.
Yeah, I quite like it. So all in all, where are you at with it?
I'm impressed and intrigued enough to sort of keep it on the radar.
Right. Okay. So it's a borrow.
Yeah, definitely go out to borrow it. If the multiplayers would to somehow catch me and drag me in, then it'd be a purchase. Because I think, especially with the multiplayer plans for them going forward, it's massively good value. 50 quid, even if you do go and get mugged off by a game.
It's all in.
Yeah, that's it. There's your season pass, 50 quid. You've bought the game. Good job. If I was richer, I'd be tempted just to buy it, even if I was never going to play it, just to say, well done you, pat on the back.
Yeah, good effort, lads.
But I'm not as rich.
Good attitude. Yeah. Well, there it is, folks. There we go. Another fun-filled week of gaming, and it's thick and fast at the moment. It's thick and fast. So, Link, final thoughts on Titanfall?
I'm glad they added single player.
Yeah, it's a big shout. I'm exactly the same. I think it was epically needed. So from Link, it's
adios,
and from it, ciao.